Hello, guys. My name is Desmond, and I welcome you to my lesson for today, where we'll be looking at your mathematics. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do. Hey, I'm trying to write and say something very, very much important at the same time. Please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important because Bantu Pakiti. What I'm about to say is massively, 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 massively. Hey, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say a day without learning something new is a day wasted. By so saying, please, honorable members, please, 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 please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So, this is what we are given as a linear number pattern, -3, and all of that. So, now, followed by what we are given as a linear number pattern are the questions.
Sorry, said -2.
Negative. Yes. Thanks very much for that, honorable member. -2. So, most importantly, we will go through these questions together, and you will also have to engage in today's lesson as we'll be doing the corrections. So, just in case if you're in grade 11 and 12, and you decided to just attend this lesson, you might engage differently because all the grade 10s should actually be marking for their script. For those of you guys who did not write a test, it's unfortunate. In case if you do not write a test and you don't communicate, it becomes a bit of a challenge in case if your parents do a follow-up to check how you are doing. Also, if you don't participate, we are not able to gauge the level of your understanding. So, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you participate in these tests, whether you are ready or not, whether you understand or not, whether you are confident or less confident. Please do participate. In case if you don't, we won't be able to know whether you are making progress or not. So, now the first question says, write down the next two terms of the pattern. I think this one is one of those easy questions. Obviously, if you remember, I did say when you are given a linear number pattern, regardless of it being linear or whichever type of a number pattern, number one, you need to understand the type of a number pattern that you are given. Then, after knowing the type, you might find that you need to either find the difference or the ratio, depending on the type of the pattern. And then lastly, what you do is to look at the question. This is the standard format that I normally follow when dealing with this type of questions. So, most importantly, Bantu Bagiti, remember, today, not today, but tomorrow on the 31st of Jan, your trial of free lessons will be ending. So on the 1st, in case if you did not pay or your parents did not pay, you might find yourself not being in all of the groups anymore. Our admin will be doing that. So starting from Feb, that's when we'll be paying more attention into things that we did not pay attention to because you guys were on a trial of free lessons. So there will be some updates which will announce mainly to improve the effectiveness of our lessons. And that includes marking an attendance register, of which starting from today, we will apply that. So sometimes it happens that we say like whatever, and then you like even though you did not attend the lesson. Sometimes you do attend but you don't like. Sometimes you do attend but just for 2 seconds and then you're out. So this is how you guys will be marking a register going forward. Lamlile, let's say the name of your school is Godwin. So as soon as this lesson is done, what you do is to write your name as a text in the group. You're going to write Lamlile, and then from there, you are going to write G. This letter G, it represents the name of your high school. The reason for this is to confuse the enemy. Who's the enemy? Someone who did not attend. Let's say Desmond did not attend. So on this day, when I said write your name and the letter, the first letter of the name of your school, Desmond will be confused and not understand why is everyone writing names and a letter, and what letter is that. So that's how I'm going to know that you did not attend, because someone might decide to send, let's say Desmond, just say Desmond and the right letter D. So in case if your parent says, is my child attending or not, we just refer to the attendance register to check if your name was sent in the group with an instruction as instructed during the lesson. It won't always be the first letter of your high school name, but sometimes we can say just write Lamlile and a certain number. Then you need to do that. So in case if you missed this instruction, it means what does it mean? It means you did not attend. You might have attended, but if you don't do that, we don't have a proof that you did attend. Because even if you like that message, we wouldn't regard that as a full proof, because I noticed some of you guys scroll up, and then you just like even though you did not attend. So that is how we'll be monitoring your attendance. And most importantly, to keep you guys effective, in case if you did not attend due to certain reasons, then you can send an inbox to say I did not attend because I was busy with my schoolwork. Then we're able to say to your parent that, okay, your learner did not attend because on this day they were busy with some schoolwork or assignments. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you are now starting to take responsibility regarding your lesson. So let's see. Obviously, it's a linear. Why? Because it was stated that it is a linear number pattern. So we know we need to find the difference. Not just the difference, but the first common difference. How do you do that? You know, it is that term minus that term. I think it is -5. And then you say that minus that, I think it also gives you -5. So with you getting two common values, it serves as a confirmation that indeed this was a linear number pattern. So if you guys remember, I made a mistake there to say that was -3. I'll just quickly explain the reason behind that. So it happens that in some instances, you try to copy something and you copy it incorrectly. So when it's 8 and 3 and -3, I'll say 3 minus 8, it's -5. When I say 3, -3 minus 3, it gives me -6. So that's how you realize that you've actually made a mistake. And it could be that you copied that incorrectly, or when you did the difference, you made something wrong. Why am I saying that? It's because this word saying this is linear, you must have your first common difference. So that's how you can detect if you made a mistake under this chapter. That's if you try to do something and it does not work out the way you expected it. So that means under this chapter, you must always have expectations to say, when I do this, I need to get this. So now let's go to 3.1.1. So we have done that. We have done that. Now we are getting to the question. So the first question says, write down the next two terms of the number of the pattern, and that is allocated 2 marks. What you do there, it is just to extend this and say that by that, and then you say that by that, where you have -5 there, -5 there. So what are the answers there, Bantubakit?
And -12.
Matapelo, what did you say there? Can you repeat, honorable member? I couldn't get that.
7 and -12.
7 and -12. 7 and -12. Is it everyone who's getting that same answer, or did some of you
7.
guys?
Sir, it's -7.
-7 and -12. Okay. Someone to confirm, is it everyone getting the same answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is what you do as a grade 10 learner. So you give yourself mark there and there. Remember, guys, at the end of this lesson, I'm expecting all those who wrote this test to send me an inbox where they submitted to say, if, for example, you got 13, then you just say, you're just going to send me an inbox which says 13 out of 15. So that's how I know how much you got for this test. And for those who did bad, then that's when I'm going to know how to assist them. So in case if you did not write, you won't need to send that because you obviously did not write. So that means it's already 0 out of what is it, out of 15, and it's unfortunate I won't be able to assist because I don't know where you are struggling. So now let's see 3.1.2. It says determine the nth term of the pattern. I'm not sure if there's someone who can work that out from their side, and then from there give us an answer to that question. I just want to quickly check something here. So this is that opportunity for you to try and work it out. So I'm hoping that you guys are busy working it out at that side. Anyone who's got an answer, guys, you can provide that answer if you already got it. Guys, are you still working it out, or wat gaan aan, Bantu Bagit?
Still working it out.
Okay. So as you guys are busy there working it out, this is one of the other announcement that I would like to make. So obviously, we've been doing more of the general lessons. So by the general lessons, I'm simply referring to the master classes that we had, where we had common chapter. So starting 01 Feb, you might not be doing or attending your maths class in this same group, because on the 1st, that's when admin will be cleaning this group. So you might find yourself now attending life sciences, geography, physics, and also maths in that same group where you are already attending all these three, because we've got three groups, one which is specifically for grade 10s, and then grade 11, and then another one for grade 12. So that means there will be days, not necessarily days, but almost every day, where I'll be doing a lesson only in this specific group, doing only the content for those, and then only for those, and only for those. So this is where I will say it's now optional for you to say, I'm in grade 12, but I would also like to be in grade 11 group. Then you can send an inbox to request that. Then you'll be added in both groups, just in case if you feel like you can still benefit from the lessons that I'll be doing in this grade. If you are in grade 10 and you'd like just to be in this group, you can also request for that. If you're in grade 11, and you'd like to be in this group and also in this group, you can also request to be added in whichever group. So how are you going to know if you can attend a grade 12 lesson if you're in grade 11? So you'll be knowing, because as we start a certain chapter, will indicate, or you will know that this specific chapter is not available in my grade. But for example, when it comes to analytical geometry, the functions, we are now on functions, and some other chapters, I would also encourage all these guys to join. So that means if you'd be interested to join here, you can send an inbox to request to be added there. And also, if you are in here, you can also send that request. Same for those. So you might not have realized that some of the problems that we have done, somewhere in grade 10, somewhere 11, somewhere in 12, and you might find that you're in 12 but still found that one in there a bit difficult. So that was primarily to actually take you through, specifically the new learners, to take them through on how we conduct our lessons, and also to give you an opportunity to attend as many lessons as possible to assist you in decision making. So an assumption is that since we started on the 2nd of this month, you've attended enough lessons to be able to gauge and tell if you'll be able to continue with us or not. So I'm pretty much sure that all that I've explained was clear. And remember, in case if you've got any additional questions, what you can do, it is to then send an inbox. And most importantly, it remains your responsibility to tell your parents whether you continue or not, because you might assume that we are discussing, but they haven't made contact, we haven't made contact, and it's just quiet. All of a Sunday, you wake up, you try to attend, you can't access any of our groups. So just be careful of that. I'm aware some of you guys are not aware of that part, because it will be happening for the very first time this year. So just be aware. I'll also remind you guys of that tomorrow. So I'm pretty much sure that all of you guys already got an answer to this question. What is the answer for those of you who already calculated it?
I got 13 minus 5n.
Wait, repeat that. What did you get, honorable member? Okay, maybe let me work it out. Remember, the moment
13
they are
minus
saying
5n.
Okay, let me see if I'll get that. So the moment they're saying determine the nth term, let's see the nth term. They just want that formula in a form of n. So this is the nth term, and the general formula is a plus into n minus 1. You close, you have d. It's in most cases whereby after they've given you a sequence or a pattern, they may ask you this type of a question where you determine to, and the next one, the nth term. This is where you need to now derive the general formula, where you know your a value is the first value of that, and then you are having n. Why n? Because they want your formula to be in the form of n. So now, what I've noticed is that some of you guys, you do it correctly here, but then you struggle to get to the final answer, or sometimes you don't represent your answer properly.
Sir.
Don't find yourself, yebo,
Sir, I can't see the screen.
someone can see the screen. Is it everyone who can see the screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Thanks for that comment. Let me do this. Remember, guys, in case something funny happens, let me know immediately, because this lesson is being recorded. And when you catch up, you need to be able to see everything. So is it clear now?
No, sir.
Still the same?
Yes.
I think I know the reason why. You see Lichumile there, he's got his camera on. Lichumile, can you switch off your video or camera that side? How about now? Can you
Sir.
guys see?
See, I'm kind of sharp.
It's fine, ne?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. Let me switch it off, and then I'll try to switch it on. It's now off. Let me try to switch it on. So remember, guys, all that you do from your side is just to join. Never click on the video thing. How about now? Is it clear or still?
It's still the same.
Okay, then in this case, I'll need to leave and rejoin. Don't go any. Okay, let's see. How about now? Still the same. Guys, Mbali, still the same. You can't
It's
see.
fine. I can see now,
Fine,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so I was saying most of you guys, you get it correctly to substitute there, but going down, it becomes a problem. So also, when you write Bantibakit, make sure that you write neatly, because if you just write assuming that they are going to see everything that you wrote, you might get a situation where you lose some of the marks because you're not presenting your answers neatly. Make sure that you say Tn is equals to all of that. The next step is to substitute, and then your next step, you just simplify that. Avoid having let's say Tn is equals to all of that, and you still have another is equals to, and then here you have another is equals to, and then you write something which doesn't have it's equals to there. So sometimes, in case if you don't write neatly, you are not encouraging whoever marking your script to at least try to spend an extra time to check what you were trying to do. They'll just do just like you did and rush to mark your script. So let's see. You're going to say that by that and then that by that. Why are you doing that? It's because you always want to try work out where there are brackets. So you're having 8 plus, what is that by that? It now becomes negative 5n. So can you see? It no longer becomes a positive but a negative, what is it? 5n. So you need to also be careful of that in terms of what sign do you write. Remember, every number has got a sign, or everything that you write, it starts with a sign, and that sign is a sign of a plus or a minus. So this 8, its sign is invisible positive. So whatever that you write next, you know it's going to be n and 5. But what is the sign for that? It becomes negative. Why? Because of that negative. So don't find yourself writing plus and then next thing is a 5n. Please make sure not to do that. So that means you're having negative 5n. And then that by that, negative times negative, it makes it a positive. That is why you start with a positive and then it's positive 5. And then lastly, you can work out those two. What is 8 plus that? I think is 13. Then 13 minus 5. And some of you still work out this and that or that and that. So you cannot do that because here you have n, you have a letter, and then these are just the numbers. So that means you can only work letter to letter, number to number, or number with a letter with another number with the same letter. So this should be your final answer. And what you need to do is to give yourself a mark here and also a mark there. So that's how you score yourself 2 marks for this question. Remember, I will need a total. But before I remove, anyone who's got a question there, or is it clear to everyone? Grade 10s, is it clear to you guys? Or anyone who's got a question before I continue?
No questions, I understand.
No question. Okay, so I am now going to remove all of this. Yeah, I think up to there. So most of you guys, you realize that what we have done during grade 11 lessons, I think it's, I'm not sure who's this honorable member. It's either it's Vuiswa or Larissa. I can't really remember the other, but those I've also tested them on grade 11 and 12 questions. They still got them correct, which was an indication that maths is maths. Whether you're in grade, what is it, 10, you can still do some questions in upper grades only if you understand the concept. That's how I know if you understand the concept, because the approach is the same. You firstly need to detect the type, and then you do either difference or ratio, and then lastly you attend the question. So it is as easy as that. And I'm telling you, if you do catch up on those lessons that we did, you will be in a better position to answer any question related to that. But now we will be going deeper and looking into some more complicated questions, but for a specific grade. So let's see. Calculate T30. This is now where it gets easier after you've done that general formula. So what is T30? The 30th term of the pattern. So you just need to notice that. Maybe let me rewrite that. So we found the general formula to be Tn equals, I think it was 13 plus, no, not a plus, but a negative, what was it? I think it was 5n. So some of these things, guys, you just need to realize something. Can you see? Even if you did not know what to calculate, but you can see in place of n, they substituted a 30. So if you were not sure of 3.1.2, but based on this question of 3.1.3, you then realize that, okay, that means they actually wanted the general formula, because on this question, they want you to substitute on that general formula. So now you can try go back to 3.1.2 to check if you've done it correctly. So what you do, where you see n, you substitute a 30, then you get an answer. So now, what is that? I think those two, it's 60. What are you getting there, Bantu Bakiti? 60 and another 60.
137.
125 man. 137. Is that 137?
Negative
But it can't
137.
be
137.
positive. It can't be positive. Another possible mistake is you forgetting that negative. If you don't write that negative is wrong, you are going to get just a mark for correct substitution, and then here you're going to get a note. So give yourself a mark there for 2 marks. So we'll still be doing the same for you guys who are in grade 11 and 12, where when we go through your scripts or the corrections, you give yourself a mark where is due. Then in the end, let me maybe write that. In the end, I think this question, it was out of 15. So you're going to send me an inbox which says maybe 3 out of 15 if you got 3. If you got 3 and you don't tell me that you got 3, I won't be able to help you guys. We are in the business of helping you, and it helps when you get the questions wrong, because that's how we understand exactly where you are struggling. But if you feel like you are ashamed of sending an inbox with your 0 out of 15, you are actually killing yourself, because I won't be able to know if you fully understand, because in every lesson, your level of understanding is at different levels. Someone is going to get 15 out of 15, someone 10 out of 15. If you don't send me with your 0 out of 15, 0 if you wrote a test and got a 0, not 0 because you did not write. If it's 0 or 1 out of 15, then I'm able to understand that, okay, this is what they got correctly. But also, we say attempt all the questions. Don't skip a question if you finished everything and then you still had some time to try some other question. Write what you understand, even if you know it's not correct, but try to apply what you understand. In that way, we are able to say, okay, this is how the question came, and based on their response, it means they responded this way because they did not know or they were not aware of 1, 2, 3. Therefore, when I explain, I'm going to then add that information that I know that it was missing. Then in case if it comes again, almost in the same way, you can apply that additional information that I've given you. Very, very much important that you participate in these tests, and also you try to attempt all the questions. So now let's move on to what is it? It's going to be 3.1.4. So let's see 3.1.4. It says which term of the number pattern is equals to negative 492. I'm telling you guys, this format of saying give us the next 2 or 3 terms, and then second question saying determine the nth term of the pattern, third term saying calculate term number whatever, last question saying which term of the pattern whatever. It's in most cases where you find this type of a format. When I was in grade 10, I had to go through almost all the past question papers to check the format. Sometimes it helps a lot to study using the question papers. Remember, guys, we are not a school where we teach you all of this. Katlego, please make sure to have your mics muted. What we do, we make an assumption that they do teach you all of these in class. Remember, we also give you a background before we start answering exam questions. And most importantly, we have tested different ways of providing this service of tutoring lessons, and we have realized what works and what doesn't work. So what we're doing now, it's what we believe it works, because regardless of how much you understand during your classes at your school, regardless of how much you get during your classworks, if you are not dealing with exam question papers, I'm telling you, you might be getting 100%, 98%, and think you are going to nail exam. When it comes, it's a complete different story. So you need to train yourself on how to answer exam questions. In that way, you know everything. That is why we have some learners who are getting 100%. That is possibly because they train on exam question papers. But remember, when I say having learners getting 100%, I'm referring to different learners in different schools, not necessarily those who are attending my classes. We haven't got a learner who got 100% during their examination. So when I say learners getting 100%, don't think because you are attending my lessons you will get those, or make an assumption that when you attend our lessons you will get 100%. I'm just highlighting the fact that it is possible. There are learners who get 100% in mathematics, physical sciences, and other subjects. So you might not know how possible that is, but it is possible through dealing with exam type of question papers. It helped me, even though I did not get 100%, but I managed to get distinctions. So let's see. Now, here comes a question. So this one also, it has to be easy because I've just indicated that the format is almost the same. So once you train yourself using this type of question papers, you know that you will score something. And if a question is being asked, they're almost asked in the same manner. You will know that if it's asked in this way, this is what they want and this is what I'm supposed to do. So you will be less worried when it comes to answering the questions. And another thing, some of you guys might not have started with this chapter at school, and you might still understand even during our lessons. It serves as an indication that you can possibly study ahead. When you get to this chapter, do attend in class, but try to focus on something else. That's what we mean by studying ahead. That means you can complete the syllabus within a shorter space of time, and then you still have more time for revision. So let's see, taking this to the other side, you are having negative 492 minus 13, it's equals to negative 5. What are those? I think I will need to take out my calculator there. So remember, Bandbagiti, this is a lesson dedicated to all the grade 10 learners who wrote this test. In case if you are in grade 11 and 12 and you find this easy, just know that this lesson is not meant for you. So let's see, you get negative 505, you divide it by negative 5, and you are getting n being 101. I'm not sure if it's everyone who's getting that, but remember, guys, for you to know that you got the correct answer, n it's always a positive number and never a decimal or fraction. So these are some of the tricks and tips that we refer to, where we say the moment you start calculating n, expect a real, just a normal number, not something as 2 over something or 1 comma 0 whatever. You just need to get an, and again, it should never be 0. You just need to get any number from 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever number. Then you know, and you always remember that even if you're doing this question as the last question and you are rushing, you will know what to expect as your final answer. It wouldn't get to a case where you get 1,37 and then you assume that to be the correct answer. You will realize that no, this is not the correct answer and I need to quickly rectify something. So is it everyone who got n equals to 101 as your answer before we move on to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm pretty much sure that this lesson it feels boring, and that is because
How many marks?
sure, I forgot to show the marks, but it's actually 2 marks. So for that question, where you get marks is when you equated or when you correctly substituted, say negative 5n plus 13, it's equals to negative 492. It doesn't matter whether you started with negative 492 and equate to that. That's where you score yourself 1 mark. And the other mark comes from you saying n is equals to that, or 101 it's equals to n. But always try to write your answer in that format. This is where we're saying Lamlile is a person. This is Lamlile is a person, and this one is a person is Lamlile. You wouldn't want to say a person is Lamlile, but Lamlile is a person. That's how you formally represent your answer. Someone just write a 101 and leave it there. We don't know if this is what is it? If we need to I don't even know how to explain, because if you write 101, what is that? Is it a house number? Guys, make sure to present your answers properly. Okay, so now let's see. 3.2. We are now on 3.2. But wait, let me check. Guys, did you get or understand how you are going to fill in register for today's lesson? Did you get that? So if your name is Desmond, you are going to say Desmond, and then if the name of your high school is primary, then you are going to write Desmond and then space, then P for primary. If you are upgrading, you write the name of your latest school, but I doubt those who are upgrading will be reluctant to attend these lessons unless I don't know, but they should be, because those are responsible for everything finance wise. So let's see. 3.2, it says the first 4 terms of a pattern A and pattern B are shown in the table below. Just to complete my point, I was saying this lesson, it might feel like it's boring because it seems like these questions were easy. But guess what? This was a November exam paper of grade 10s. So it's an indication that these things are as easy as they are, and they will be easy as expected. Someone is in grade whatever, but you might find that they got these problems difficult and now they are understanding them better. So let me use this as a case study. For those of you guys who are in grade 11 and 12, and you now fully understand this chapter, it is the same for all other subjects. When I say when you're in grade 11 or 12, study everything that you studied in the previous grade before. Let's say if you're doing this chapter for a number pattern, don't just start with the one in your grade. Start with this one in grade 10 to prepare you for the questions in grade 11. Then once you're done with this one, you start with the one that you are in, and then you just study everything. It's going to give you a warm-up so that you know you've covered everything that you need to remember, everything that you need to be aware of. It doesn't mean when you get to grade 11 or 12 they teach you something different. They just add to the information that you have. So if you neglect the previous information, it's going to feel like it's too much, or it's going to feel like it's confusing, and you end up feeling like grade 12 is difficult. Whereas for me, the most difficult grade was grade 10, because you're from grade 9, where you're doing natural sciences, EMS, social science, whatever. But the moment you get to grade 10, it's like a complete different world, where you find physics no longer NS, you find life sciences, geography, and whatever. So it's very much difficult for you to capture the information that you'll be given within a short space of time. Most of you guys, your eyes are being opened when you get to grade 11 and 12. That's when you notice, oh, this is what is actually happening under physics. And by that time, it would be late if you did not take grade 10 seriously. So now you're in grade 11 and 12 and you're struggling. Please make sure to revisit the grade 10 stuff. They are going to prepare you, and you will fully enjoy your grade 11 and 12. Grade 12 is the easiest grade, because they're just adding few things to the syllabus. So make sure to take that seriously, because I'm talking from experience. So let's see. The first 4 terms of pattern A and pattern B are shown in the sketch, in the table below. Position of term N. So you can see when they say position of term N, they're simply saying for pattern A, the first term, what was it? It was 1, 3, 5, 7, and then whatever. That's how you generate a pattern from the given statement. So that means a pattern B, it is going to be 1, and then you have 9, and then you have 25, and then 49. Remember, guys, all of this is posted in the group. That was the position. And there was an honorable member who simplified it to say, when they talk about the position, they are referring to that, to say this is actually term number 1, this is term number 2, this is term number 3, this is term number 4. It's more like you are given up to term number 4 for pattern A and pattern B. So remember, guys, as I've been saying, you need to firstly determine the type. After the type, difference or ratio, and then you start looking at the questions. So I've just done that. I haven't looked at the questions. So now, what am I supposed to do? I need to detect whether this is a linear or geometric. So now, anyone who can tell what type of a pattern is pattern A and what type of a pattern is pattern B. Let me also check from my side. Let's see. I'm just going to say 3 minus 1, it gives me 2. And I'm going to say 5 minus 3, it gives me 2. 7 minus 5, it gives me... So the first one already, I know it is a linear. So let's see. Pattern number 2, I'm going to say 9 minus 1, it gives me 8. 25 minus 9, it gives me 16. 49 minus 25, it gives me 24. So it fails to be linear, this one. Then I'm going to test if it's if it's geometric, by saying this divided by that. So let's see. 9 divided by 1, I get 9. So 25 divided by 9, I'm getting a different answer. 25 divided by 25 divided by 9, I get something else. So it also fails. So that means possibly it could be a quadratic. So this one already, I said that minus the difference for this one, D, it was equals to 2. And then this one, let's try to further work. That minus that is equals to 8. That minus that, let's see. 9 minus 1, it's 8. 25 minus 9, I get 16. And then 49 minus 25, you get 24. Then let's see, what is 16 minus 8? 16 minus 8, you get 8. And then what is 24? Minus 16, you get. So can you see, that's how you detect whether it is linear, quadratic, or whatever. So now you can start attending the questions. That is the format. Let's see. Determine a general formula for the nth term of pattern A. So it has to be easy, that one. 3.2.1. Why easy? Because you know this is the general formula, n minus 1d. So let's see. What is A for pattern number 1? It's 1 plus n minus 1. What is D? D we noticed is 2. So that by that, you have 1 plus 2n minus 2. And then what is 1 minus 2? That is negative 1. So you can decide to write it as 2n minus 1. Or even if you write it as negative 1, what is it? Plus 2n. You still give yourself a mark for that. So that means for this question, you are going to give yourself, let's say, a mark for that 2n and also a mark for negative 1. So this question was allocated 2 marks. It was a pretty much a straightforward question, that one. So let's see. Now, the second question says, hence or otherwise, determine a general, what is it? Hence or otherwise, determine a general formula for the nth term of pattern B. I'm not sure if there is anyone who's got that question correctly. I'm not sure about that. But is there anyone who got that question correctly? Or anyone who'd like to quickly give it a try? Anyone would like to give it a try? Bantu Bagit.
Two n squared minus 1. I'm just guessing.
Someone is guessing. What did you say there, honorable member?
2n squared minus 9.
Okay, 2n minus squared minus 1. You were almost there, honorable member. You were almost there. But now, in this case, where the question said, hence, let's see, they're saying hence or otherwise, determine a general formula for the nth term of pattern B. So I think I notice we are actually running out of time, but I will still need to quickly take you through a lesson where we go deep into this. But obviously for the grade 11, grade 10s only. So when they say hence, the word hence, it means refer to the previous question. Remember, this is 3.2.2. When they say hence, they want you to refer to this question. So remember, as a grade 10, where you are dealing with, what is it? A quadratic number pattern. In your case, that's where you take that answer. So that means you're going to say Tn is equals to, inside the brackets is 2n, and then you square that. I will explain that on the lesson where we'll be doing a revision of this. So that means if you expand this, if you further expand that, you therefore get to a point where you are having Tn, which is equals to whatever n squared either plus or minus n, and then either plus or minus just a constant, which is just a number. If you remember when we're doing during our master classes, you can expand this to that, where you say two of those. It's more like you're going to say 2n minus 1, and you also have 2n minus 1. Then you do that by that, by that, that by that, then you simplify and you have it in that format. So you can also see it's given 1 mark. So you might need to remember that when you're having a situation where you are having a linear and a quadratic, and somehow they're saying hence, and you can see it's given 1 mark. That's where you refer to that and you square it. So that's how you convert it from that to becoming a quadratic. I'll need to make sure to do a special for that. So I think quickly, okay, if you did this, then give yourself a mark there. So quickly, let's try to have a look at that last question. I think I'll need to be very quickly because there's going to be another lesson starting, I think, accounting, math or something of that nature. So let's see. 3.2.3. Let's see. So that one also, they still have that weight of hence. They say hence determine a general formula for the term 0, -6, -20, -42, whatever, and they say simplify your answer. So let's see. Maybe let me quickly give you a guide on this one. You can still say this minus that, and you say this minus that, and you say this minus that. Just in case if the question itself is confusing, work it out the way you know how to work it out, because what you know is that they want you to determine the general formula for this. So let's see, what type of that is that? -6 minus 0, you're getting -6 there. What is -20 minus -6? You get -14. And then what is -42 minus -20? You get -22. Then do the same again. Say -14 minus -6. What are you getting? You get -8. And then you say -22 minus -14. You get -8. So can you guys see? Examiner will give you a pattern which has things like 0 and the negatives. And when you do that by that, you get the negatives. But Oxalayo, you need to get a common second difference. So remember, we said the formula for you to determine the general equation, you need this, you need that, you need that. And we said you're going to say 2a is equals to, you equate it to that, being -8, then you solve for a. You're going to take that a value and substitute it here where you have 3a. Is it, what is it? Is it 3a plus b? It's going to be equals to that, which is -6. You saw, you obviously your a here is going to be negative what? -4. You're going to say that into -4 plus b, it's negative that, and then you solve for b. Let me quickly see. -6 plus 3 into that. No. Plus, I think it gives you 4. You get your b being equals to not 4 but +6, and then you do that one of saying a plus b plus c, it's equals to that one being 0. So your a, you know, it's -4, your b is +6 plus c. So this minus that is actually 2. You take it to the other side and then you see it's equals to a -2. So can you see, I've quickly worked it out. I'm telling you guys, this is what some of you guys did. You just worked it out nicely like that and you left it. I'm telling you, you won't get full marks. You need to then say Tn is equals to -4, what is it, n squared, and you say plus 6n, and then you say -2. That's how you will get a full, what is it, 4 marks. So give yourself 1 mark there for A, 1 mark for that, 1 mark for that, and 1 mark for that, and that's how you score yourself 4 marks. So remember, guys, the lesson is about to end. You only have 5 minutes to mark the register after the lesson is done. You write the name, not just the name, but your name, and then from there you write the letter of your high school. So that is today's instruction of how to mark the register. So guys, I've actually overspent the time, but I'm just going to sign out with an assumption that you guys did got that. Otherwise, if you did not understand, we'll clarify that on our next lesson. So guys, that's all from my side. My name is Desmond, and I'm out.